was like, this is way better than I thought it would be. And then he has a mouth tongue.
So I've been wanting to do an experiment where I make a short film entirely using AI tools. Now, I know a lot of you have seen the new Sora film that came out, but Sora is not available to the public yet, so I'm not able to test it out. And it's not like, based on that film, a filmmaker was like, make me a film about a guy walking around with a balloon head. There was a lot of different things that were put in and assembled inside of a timeline that people don't talk about. So I hope to demystify this idea that AI is just going to make the whole film by itself, but also show you what tools are out there and hopefully how they might help you in your creative process. So the challenge for me is to create a 30-second commercial for a fake dog food company. It's going to feature a Dalmatian set inside of Italy. There'll be a voiceover. We're going to use similar AI generative tools to Sora. I'll also be using MusicBed's new AI search where I can type in any popular songs and it will find me music based on that search. And you might be surprised at what can be created and also shocked at still how far it needs to go. So can we do it? Let's jump in and find out. The first step is coming up with the script and the concept. And to stick with AI, I'm going to use ChatGPT to write the script for me. So this is the prompt that I'm sending to ChatGPT. And the reason why I'm choosing 60 seconds is I know that I'm going to probably have to cut it down to be 30 seconds. So I want more to work with rather than less in the beginning. Hit enter. And it starts writing out the script. So I read through the script and it seems pretty good. So you can see here it actually has visual cues here, like opening scene, narrator, cut to scenes of the Dalmatian puppy looking around desperately, and then cut back to the narrator. All right, so now we're going to use Runway's text-to-video tools to generate all the visuals before we go into Premiere Pro. Now you can see here on the website there's Gen 1, which I used last year to create a comic book music video, which basically applies a style to an existing video. But today we're going to use Gen 2, which is text to video. So just creating video just from a text prompt, which is just wild. And if you didn't see my recent short about Adobe sneaking at their new generative AI tools coming to Premiere Pro later this year, they're actually going to be integrating with Runway as well, so you can start to generate B-roll directly in Premiere Pro, which I think is really cool. So right now we're doing it inside of Runway, but I hope in the future it will be in Premiere Pro. So let's go ahead and click on this. We're going to describe the shot here. So initially inside the script, it was a bustling city street, but then I realized I wanted it to be set in Burano, Italy, because it has very beautiful, colorful buildings. I actually generated a couple stills above using the text image tools here, and this was actually one of the shots that I generated when I was thinking about the idea. So I thought it would be good to start with an opening aerial shot of Burano, Italy. And instead of clicking on generate 4 seconds, that's one of the limitations, by the way. You can only generate 4 seconds, but first click on free previews. And free previews are just essentially showing you a still image of what it might look like as a starting point. So you can see you have some nice stills to choose from as your image input. So I'm going to try this one first because I like the water canal here. Use image input and then generate 4 seconds. So this can take 30 seconds up to a few minutes to generate. So a lot of this is trial and error, very similar to the music video I did with Gen 1, trial and error, trying out something, it doesn't work out, gotta try it again. All right, so now it's done and we can take a look. All right, it's not half bad actually. You can see that the animation is kind of stretching some of the buildings, almost like a parallax effect, but it's not terrible. So I'm going to click on download here. All right, so we have our establishing shot. Now a shot of our subject, our lonely Dalmatian that is lost. Now, if you try to click on free previews, you'll say no need to preview, and that's because we already have an image input here, which we don't want right now. We want to start over. So let's remove that image and click on free previews once again. And what's really cool is it shows you the history as you go through and generate. So you can see number 1 up here is our initial previews and 2 is the video that we downloaded. We have our image inputs and you can see the first one here looks kind of odd. There's like a tail on the front, so it's not perfect. Visually, these look very interesting though. So let's try this second one. Let's use this as an image input. and let's click generate. And one thing I want to mention here is that Runway's AI model is still in its infancy. So a lot of the things that we're generating right now are still from a beta, right? So it's not going to be perfect. So let's see how this one looks. All right, so the face is kind of weird, and then what I find is like the first couple seconds are okay, and then as soon as movement starts to happen, things start to get weird. Like at the very end here, like what's going on with the face? Like it can't handle their perspective. In this case, I might just use the first 2 seconds here before it starts to get a little weird. So we can download this, of course. So here's a bunch of generations that I have already made. You can see a lot of trial and error by how many I've made for this short little video. But let me show you an example of the issues that it has with movement. So this is just a generation of a Dalmatian walking the streets. It just can't handle it. It starts to get deformed. It's just not usable. I mean, that's just insane. Another example here, it just wiggles in place. When it has to do with people and the dog, it doesn't work out either. So it's good for like the still kind of, her face is kind of funny looking, but you can see that it's trying to create a leash and then it disappears and then she just goes, it just goes a little crazy. Oh, and the food. Whenever I tried to generate the dog food, it ended up animating the dog food for some reason, and I couldn't change that. It looks like pinto beans or quinoa. And then this one was pretty good. It's a huge bowl, but then look what happens to his mouth. This one ended up being okay. Still, the eyelid is a little bit off, but it's not terrible. So I think I'm gonna use this shot. This shot was really good. But the dog looks different. That's one thing that is hard to keep, is that consistency, that continuity between the model, because every time you generate a new one, the dog looks a little bit different. All right, so basically I just went through the script. I put in the prompts based on what I think should happen. Obviously there were some things that just didn't work out, like the walking and some of the emotion. So I've downloaded all of this, and now I want to find music before I assemble it in Premiere Pro. For music, my team and I have recently switched to using MusicBed because they have real authentic music that helps elevate our storytelling. You can really feel the emotion. It doesn't feel like stock music. And they just added this new search by song, which is powered by AI. So you can search any popular artist name, any song name, and it will find music in their library that is similar to that. So for example, let's try this famous French song here, and you can see it automatically comes up and show similar. I'm going to search instrumental only to narrow down the searches. So I'm going to download this, and I'm going to use my YouTube subscription so I can download an unlimited number of music tracks. And what's really cool is once I publish it to my YouTube channel, MusicBed will automatically clear the music so there's no claims because my YouTube channel is linked with my account, and I can download an MP3 or a WAV file version, and also try out a couple more songs. So once you find one that you like here and you don't like the other tracks that are in the list, you can go and click on show similar based on that track. So after I went through and started looking at show similar, I eventually landed on this track by Sarah King. The piano coming in. And then it kind of starts lonely in the beginning, like the Dalmatian is lonely as he starts to discover the smell of the food, of the dog food. The music starts to get a little bit more richer and more beautiful and excited. And the reason why I like to start with music first is because when I'm putting all the visuals that we generated, it's important for me to edit to the music rather than the other way around. So if you want to switch to MusicBed and try out their really unique, awesome set of music and their new AI search, you can use my link below to get a free 14-day trial. And this link is my affiliate link, so if you use that link, it helps support the channel. So we've generated the visuals, we downloaded the music track, now it's time to put the visuals and the music together inside of Premiere Pro. So the first thing I'm going to do is remix the track down. So we can go to the 30-second mark just by typing that in. And when you press enter, it takes you right there to that moment. Press C to cut off the excess here, because I don't want to use that other portion of the track that's just too long. So I'm going to select this music track, go to Essential Sound, and select Music. And now I can use the Remix tool here using duration, or I can go over here to my toolbar and select this icon and go to Remix tool. And now I can drag the end of this track to meet at the 30-second mark. And this is going to analyze the music track and create cuts to naturally remix the music to my needs. So after I remixed it, you can see it has 2 cut points, and let's play it back and see how it sounds. Still has that sparse energy, hopeful, the happiness. So the cuts were pretty seamless here, and I like what it chose. And this was AI, by the way. AI is the Remix tool. It's another AI tool. So now it's about choosing the shots to go with the music here. Let's try this opening shot. Now you'll notice when I drop it in the timeline that it is a smaller resolution than 1080p, and that's because I didn't upscale these. If I want to upscale them, I could use the Boris FX UpRes effect inside of Premiere Pro, or I could use Topaz AI on all these clips first and then import them. For the sake of this, I'm just going to increase the scale so it fits into frame, and I think that that's fine for this demo. At this first music mark, I want to cut to a different shot, and what I'm going to do is copy this first clip, right click, and paste attributes motion. That way it's scaled in frame. And now that I've added all the shots in the timeline, it's now time to generate a voiceover with Runway. Click here on Generative Audio, and at the top you can copy and paste the script you want your narrator to say. And then beneath that you can select a voice from their catalog. I went with Mariah.
Good evening. I was actually hoping to run into you.
So let's click generate to see how it sounds with our script.
In the heart of the city, a little Dalmatian puppy found himself all alone.
I think this works. I'm gonna try it out. So let's go ahead and download this. So I cut up the audio to kind of work better with the flow. You can see I just didn't have it each clip immediately after each other. I had a beat. For example, you can see that there's a gap here between these clips.
In the heart of the city, a little Dalmatian puppy.
The next step is generating sound effects. And there's this tool that I discovered called Audio Gen, because Runway doesn't yet have generative sound effects yet, but Audio Gen does. So with Audio Gen, you can just describe the sound that you want. And I thought it would be cool to add some ambience, people chatting outside a cafe. And you can choose the duration too. So if you want it to be longer, like 10 seconds, generate. And you can see above, I had already generated a few of them, so let's play them back. It sounds a little bit robotic-y, some of these clips, but it could work if we layer it in with the music and lower the volume. I also did some small village ambience, and I also wanted just a small accordion playing in the background, so here's an example. I also tried people walking on cobblestones. So you can see it's kind of hit or miss with the generated sounds, but if you're more specific and you use some of the advanced controls, you can generate some pretty good sound effects. And what I found is you have 100 free generations, but you can always upgrade. It's only $5 per month to get 1,000 sound effects and a commercial license to use them. So I went through and I downloaded a few sound effects here. And if I go back into Premiere Pro, you can see the sound effects that I layered in here. We can get into some water lapping in this shot and some people walking. And what I did is I selected this track and I adjusted the loudness to -30 lufs, which is the broadcast standard for loudness for ambience. And I added an outside reverb on almost all of the sound effects, and I also decreased the volume just a little bit because it varies per shot. And I stacked it up against with some more people walking, the accordion playing again, and just stacked those clips because it helps bring it to life. And to spice it up, I'm going to use some scratch film burn transitions from my Gal Toolkit extension from Premiere Pro. So I'm going to double click here to apply it, and it comes with some sound effects too.
In the heart of
And I'm also going to apply a film title template from my toolkit here and update the text to reflect the title of the commercial. Now these effects are not AI, but templates are time savers too. I also added captions using AI. So if you go up to window and you go down to text. So it has a transcript here and you can click here to create captions. If you want to learn how that works, you can click right up here to go check out that video. So it created captions already. And then here I just stylized them using the Essential Graphics panel. I called my preset Italian City, and it has a little backdrop. So this was all done with the help of AI also. So now that I'm done with basically version 1, I want to give a call to my friend Mandy Celine. She is a director and a director of photography based in London. She's also a trainer. I want to get her insights on what she thinks about this AI generated short film and to see how she could use some of these tools. Okay, let's hit play and all right, let's see your reaction.
In the heart of the city, a little Dalmatian puppy found himself all alone. Lost and scared, he searched for something familiar, someone he loved. But then, just when hope seemed lost, he stumbled upon something that felt like home. And just like that, with a warm meal and a caring touch, the lost pup found his way back to where he belonged. Treat your furry friend to the best food, where every bite is made with love.
It's nearly good. I was like, this is way better than I thought it would be. And then he has a mouth tongue.
I kept telling inside Runway, okay, please make a dog that's just eating food. And it couldn't do it. This food was the best shot I could get.
I do enjoy that the hands are like that.
Yeah. It's trying to be one hand, but it formed into two. So this shot was quite nice.
Yeah, there's some of them are surprisingly okay. I was genuinely impressed.
Watch the lady in the back.
On something that felt like home.
Oh, she's got a couple legs. I do think this current wave of AI is really good for horror right now.
The stuff that I generated as kind of background ambience was also AI generated. I think those tools will be helpful to people. Some of the sound effects don't sound quite great.
Speaking of sound, that's the one thing I had with the voiceover and I have with all Gen AI voiceovers is they don't quite...
Oh yeah, what's your feedback?
I always can tell. It's like an uncanny valley for the voice.
But overall, like if you were going to present this to a client, it could be a good way of like showcasing what you're kind of going for, right?
Like a proof of concept. I do think we'll see actually more like, they're not quite animatics, but they're not quite storyboards. They're going to be like moving storyboards to get more of a vibe. I think we'll start seeing that as a trend, which will be fascinating.
Are you curious now to give it a go with like Runway tools right now?
I definitely will give it a go. I'm also like, there's two sides of the coin, right? Like I don't want to take away jobs from creative people, but also I'm like, this could be good for animatics for the creative people to do instead of like spending ages on Photoshop changing photos out. Like it's another tool in the chest.
So Mandy was right. For a live action film, this could be a good proof of concept, not a final film. And the reason why is just the text prompts are so random. You can't really direct it. And remember, what you saw in this kind of moving storyboard I showed Mandy was the best of the best. And although I have yet to try Sora, maybe the text prompts are easier to direct, but there's no way of knowing because I don't have access. I only see what other creators post, like MKBHD posted on Twitter and what Sora has posted on their website. But from what I can see without testing, it looks like it has some more promising movement models to work with. So that said, of course, all of these tools cost money to use. Now, for some productions, it might seem cheaper, and for others, it might be more expensive. Of course, it's still a heck of a lot cheaper than hiring a trained Dalmatian, a director, editor, cinematographer to produce the full commercial. But the question is the lower cost of using these AI tools worth it for our industry. Filmmaking for myself and everybody I talk to in the industry, it's about the community, it's about the relationships. Some of my best friendships were made and best memories are made making a film together. It's about honoring the blood, sweat, and tears that go into a production. I can tell you probably nobody's gonna wanna go to the theater to watch an AI generated film. You go for the art. AI generation is just AI generation. I think AI is best in helping us visualize ideas. There's nothing wrong with doing that, or having us save time. For example, the music bed AI search, you can just type in the name of a popular song and it can find human-made songs from their library that kind of sound like it. So I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on this and if you would actually use this as a starting point for production, which is, I think, where it's at right now. So if you're interested in learning more about AI tools and how they can help you as a creative, you can sign up for my course waitlist by going to premiergal.com/AI. Thanks again to MusicBed for sponsoring this channel, and I'm so excited to be partnering with them and using music in all of my productions this year. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, keep creating better video with Gal. See you next time. Bye. Ooh.